Man, the off-season is just getting more and more interesting, because now we have ourselves yet another signing on our hands. It's the Vegas Golden Knights, who, at the time of recording this audio, have not actually posted an update themselves. It's just Renaud Lavoie going out there and making this tweet that I wanted to go out there and talk about today. Take a look at this. Tanner Pearson will be at the Vegas Golden Knights training camp on a PTO. And this is a very simple video. I don't even think we're going to make it to 8 minutes. If we do, then hey, pat on the back for myself for pushing it out there. But when it comes to the newest Vegas Golden Knights PTO signee, Tanner Pearson is a guy whom, honestly, I don't really know what kind of value he has at the NHL level anymore. It's so weird to talk about this guy. Because he's 32 years old, 6'1", 201, not necessarily like super old, but he was an overage draft pick back in the 2012 NHL Entry Draft, who had some really good days in the National Hockey League. I mean, he has a Stanley Cup for crying out loud. 2014 Stanley Cup Championship in his rookie season with the LA Kings. He was playing on that 70s line with Jeff Carter and Tyler Toffoli. It was really great. Nice chemistry there with those three. Lots of ambitious offense, and Tanner Pearson maxed out as a 44-point guy in 80 games with the LA Kings before he got traded over to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a deal that was just ultimately a disaster, realistically. I mean, Pearson didn't really play too well in that season. He had 1 point in 17 games. He got traded to Pittsburgh, had 14 points in 44 games, but then he got traded to Vancouver, and I remember this very elegantly because I made a video about it. It was my freshman year at BCIT. And Tanner Pearson popped off. He had 12 points in 19 games. He was traded for Erik Gudbranson. A lot of Canucks fans, myself included, were so excited because Pearson for Gudbranson had the potential to be a steal. Gudbranson was total dog water in Vancouver. So Tanner Pearson coming in exchange, fantastic. There's no way he could have been seen as worse than Gudbranson. And Pearson was really good to start out his Canucks tenure. His first full season, 45 points, 69 games played, 21 goals, 24 assists, and he had 8 points in 17 games in the bubble playoffs. Tanner Pearson was great, and he continued to kind of go up and down after that. I was gonna say be great afterwards, but the season after, it was the North Division year. Everybody on Vancouver kind of sucked in 2020, 2021. Pearson had 18 points in 51 games, but then the season after, he rebounded, had 34 points in 68 games played. Not terrible, honestly, but a decline from the 45-point season he had, but you can give him sort of a pass because a lot of these other Canucks guys were rebounding from that terrible North Division year. But then in 2022-2023, Tanner Pearson went through a whole bunch of injury problems that made things very difficult to assess his overall talent level. There was the problem going on with his hand that was misdiagnosed, improperly treated. Quinn Hughes made some sly comments to the media about how the medical staff might have goofed up on that one, and Tanner Pearson was apparently really frustrated with how they handled his hand, and he ended up only getting 14 games in that 2022-2023 season because of it. He had 5 points, a goal, and 4 assists, and when he did play, it's not like he looked any good either. Give it another season, and eventually Canucks fans come to terms with the fact that Tanner Pearson was just not as fast as he used to be. He just wasn't as potent offensively as he used to be. And especially when Bo Horvat got traded, that's when a lot of Tanner Pearson's effectiveness just totally shut down. He didn't have much chemistry with the other centers the Canucks had other than Bo Horvat. Bo, Pearson, and like Louis Eriksson was the shutdown line in that 2021 bubble playoff run. And Bo and Pearson were scoring points. Eriksson was just kind of there, but good defensive two-way presence. All three of those guys could do the walk defensively. But for Tanner Pearson, without Bo Horvat there, it was just a lot worse. And so the Canucks traded Pearson over to the Canadiens at the start of the 2023 season in exchange for Casey DeSmith. It was a pretty good trade for both sides, I would say. Montreal got rid of a goaltender that they didn't need, and he got a draft pick in exchange. And of course, Vancouver gets rid of the Tanner Pearson contract and ends up getting a backup goalie that they actually got good value out of in DeSmith. Tanner Pearson had 13 points in 54 games played with the Canadiens, and while it's easy to dismiss the Montreal Canadiens, oh yeah, they're a bad team, they finished near the bottom of the league, this, that, and the other thing, yeah, okay, that's not wrong. But Tanner Pearson was not really all too great in Montreal either. He was reduced more so to a middle to bottom six forward. Sure, he had some moments where he was playing with other older guys like Brendan Gallagher, and there were some pops of effectiveness here and there, but for the most part, I don't think anybody in Montreal Canadiens Nation was looking at Tanner Pearson and saying, yeah, that's the guy we gotta keep, man. That's a really, really great player. He is so amazing, so fantastic. We gotta stay with him. No, it's not really like that. He was just a guy that was there. He happened to be there. And he lasted this long on the free agent market without getting any sort of a deal. Until now. Heading over to Vegas on a PTO, he'll be there for free, technically. He's not going to be getting paid. If he's good enough in training camp to actually earn a contract, then okay, the Vegas Golden Knights will sign him and give him the ability to play for their team in the 24-25 season. Although, to be honest, because Vegas is a lot better than Montreal, Vegas, you could debate the forward core is deeper than most teams in the NHL. I have a really difficult time envisioning Tanner Pearson beating out even like the bottom tier players on the Vegas forward core. Let's go over to the Vegas Golden Knights lines and see who it is they have here. I mean, their bottom six has got Brendan Brisson, William Karlsson, Alexander Holtz. Yeah, they got Holtz, my goodness. Brett Howden, Nick Waugh, and Keegan Kolesar. Do you really see Tanner Pearson beating out any of these guys for an NHL spot in 82 games? Honestly, I gotta say no. A lot of these guys, especially in the bottom six, play with a lot of pace, they play with a lot of tenacity, they're aggressive, and Tanner Pearson just isn't really that anymore. In fact, he's kind of slow. So I really don't think this is going to work out well for anybody who wants to see Tanner Pearson play for the Vegas Golden Knights of all teams. But of course, maybe it's good that he's going over to an environment where it is going to be super competitive and it's going to be tough to earn a spot, because if that pushes him that extra little step to actually provide more value than he could have otherwise, then okay, maybe it's actually a good thing. I mean, Phil Kessel was able to play with the Vegas Golden Knights and he won a Stanley Cup with them. He didn't play in the playoffs when they won the Cup, but he got his name on it because he was on the team for the full year. Maybe that's a thing. Of course, though, Kessel had a much higher scoring touch than Tanner Pearson ever had, so I don't really know how this is going to go. So, Montreal Canadiens fans, Vancouver Canucks fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about Tanner Pearson heading over to the Vegas Golden Knights? Whoop-de-doo, imagine that, the Golden Knights getting themselves yet another former LA King onto their roster. They just cannot seem to stop taking these guys from around the California area. Tomas Hertl from San Jose, Shea Theodore from the Anaheim Ducks, Tanner Pearson from the LA Kings. A lot of dudes going out there and swapping around. Even Braden McNabb. Yeah, he's a former LA King, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Tanner Pearson PTO acquisition by the Vegas Golden Knights. And do you think this is actually going to manifest into an NHL home for the guy in 2024-2025? Does he get that regular contract, or does he just kind of stay as a PTO? He gets released and then he goes over to Europe or something. Or maybe he signs an AHL deal, who really knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.